Donald Trump's White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, still embattled following her criticism of Trump and his cabinet in a Vanity Fair profile 2 weeks ago, just landed herself in even more trouble, this time from a bipartisan group of congressional leaders. If Wiles needed to distance herself from Trump before, she needs to flee for her political life now. And you'll never guess what this all ties back to. Stick around. Welcome to Occupy Democrats, I'm David Reddish. And once again, if you're excited for the announcement and unveiling of the big blue behemoth behind me, mark your calendar for January 2nd. I'm so excited to share it all with you. This announcement has been months in the making, and it's going to be big. But okay, enough about that. Let's get to our story. As you will recall, Susie Wiles, Trump's chief of staff and campaign manager for his 2024 White House race, has become a household name. The reason? A Vanity Fair profile in which Wiles, who usually hides from the spotlight, shared some candid thoughts on Trump, members of his cabinet, and even key MAGA figures like Elon Musk. Here's a little recap.
I've covered the president, and I've also covered Susie Wiles for years now, Kate, and this is one of the most candid interviews and stories that she's offered really from the entire time I've done that. This is incredibly candid, some of the things that she was admitting, because I will tell you too, Wiles is someone who often likes to operate kind of in the shadows and quietly. She doesn't like to draw attention to herself, and that's why I think some of what people are waking up and reading this morning is so stunning to hear about. But let me get into some of the main things that I found very notable from what Chris Whipple, who works with Vanity Fair, detailed from their conversations. One is that Wiles referred to President Trump as someone having a, quote, alcoholic personality. She also talked a lot about the vice president, J.D. Vance, someone who I should note, had this conversion that Whipple noted as well from never Trumper to a MAGA acolyte. Susie Wiles essentially said that change, that conversion has been, quote, sort of political. And she said the vice president has been a, quote, conspiracy theorist for a decade. She also talked about Russell Vought. He is the White House budget chief, but he's also, of course, one of the architects of that notorious Project 2025 conservative blueprint for the future of the Republican Party, something that Trump had previously, of course, disavowed. She argued that Vought is, quote, a right-wing absolute zealot.
Sounds bad, right? Well, fair warning, it just got worse. Much worse. Yesterday, I reported on how Wiles is in hot water with her boss, and while that may look bad for Susie, it's Trump who is in bigger trouble. See our other videos for that segment. Wiles has thus far endured little in the way of public criticism from Trump. He refers to her as a member of the family, and she's one of the few people who can get Trump to listen. Trump also loves to brag to her with classified documents. Jonathan Karl reported in his book, Retribution, that Wiles revealed to the FBI that during the period when Trump was withholding classified documents from the government, he was actually using them to boast to friends at Mar-a-Lago about government secrets, including Wiles herself. This is from a sworn deposition, folks, and it appears that penchant for bragging with our national secrets knows no bounds. In her Vanity Fair interview, Wiles also revealed that she'd read through some of the Epstein files material, going so far as to contradict Trump's insinuations that former President Bill Clinton knew about Epstein's crimes or participated in them. And now that little morsel just landed Wiles in a heap of trouble. This morning, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse and Senator Dick Durbin issued a public letter with some questions for Ms. Wiles. Check this out. The letter reads in part, quote, in a recent Vanity Fair profile, you said you have read the Epstein file and that President Trump is in the file, was on Epstein's plane, and is on the manifest. Please be kind enough to explain when and where and under what authority you gained access to this material as requested below. It would be good to have your responses to the following questions by January 5th, 2026, close quote. Why is this a big deal? Well, Wiles' remarks imply that Trump was sharing the Epstein files, which were, at the time, classified, with those around him, either to try and exonerate himself of knowing anything about his best friend's sex trafficking, or maybe just as a show of his power and prestige. Trump likes to look like he's in the know, even if he spends most of his days on social media, watching TV, and eating fast food. But more importantly, This opens the door to a congressional investigation in which Wiles could be called to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee to answer the question that I keep asking on this show. What did the president know, and when did he know it when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein? And what did the president do with Epstein's victims, and when did he do it? This is an opportunity for a do-nothing Congress to find some bipartisanship and tackle an issue popular with the public. It could also shed some light on just what the Trump administration, in particular FBI Director and douche canoe Kash Patel and Attorney General Pam Bondi, were doing to cover Trump's tracks and make redactions in the files. The plot thickens, folks. You know, someone recently asked me who I would name as Person of the Year for 2025, and for me, that answer is easy: Jeffrey Epstein. And Mr. Epstein and his crimes look like they're going to be very big in 2026 as well. Stay tuned. This is Occupy Democrats.